So you want to know whether Busch Gardens Tampa or SeaWorld Orlando is more worth your time and money? Then let's get started. First matchup, which is between the B&M Loopers at both Busch Gardens Tampa and SeaWorld Orlando, that being Kraken and Kumba. And in my opinion, Kumba is the better ride. Now both Kraken and Kumba excel in their layout, forces, and both are very similar in smoothness, but I think Kumba is generally the more intense ride, plus, in my opinion, it has the better setting and just more snappy elements overall. So that's why I will be giving Kumba an extra 2 points. Now for the second matchup that will be between the two family launch coasters at both parks, that being Cheetah Hunt at Busch Gardens Tampa and Icebreaker at SeaWorld Orlando. Now, both these are great rides that will serve their audiences very well, but I will say Icebreaker, in my opinion, is the better ride, just because it's a more complete experience and also more forceful. While with Cheetah Hunt, the launches are definitely pretty punchy, but other than that, there's not a ton of force to the ride. Now, like some of the turns provide decent laterals. The Heartline roll provides a decent bit of hang time, and there's some airtime throughout the ride. But with Icebreaker getting stronger airtime, backwards launches, and generally because of that, more forces throughout the ride. So in my opinion, Icebreaker is the better ride, giving SeaWorld Orlando an extra 2 points. Compare another two B&Ms at both parks, that being Manta at Busch Gardens Tampa and Manta at SeaWorld Orlando. Now both of these rides might seem very different, but they're actually more similar than you may think. One, they both hang you underneath the track in different ways. With Manta, you're obviously flying, while Montu, you're just sitting. And the thing is, I do prefer Montu because it's more intense and forceful, but that doesn't mean Manta isn't a great ride. The thing is with Manta, it definitely has the better setting, and it is the more re-rideable and fun ride as it isn't as intense. And plus, I do think Manta's pretzel loop is more intense than the most intense part on Montu, which is its Batwing. So that's why I do prefer Montu, and that's why I will be giving Busch Gardens Tampa an extra 2 points, making the lead 4-2. Let's compare both parks' kiddie coasters, that being Air Grover at Busch Gardens Tampa and Super Grover's Boxcar Derby at SeaWorld Orlando. Now this will be a very easy one, as both these rides serve their audiences perfectly as intended, and they're very similar, being built by the same company and delivering basically no forces in and of itself. So both parks will be getting an additional 1 point for each of these rides. Couple of unique koshers that SeaWorld Orlando just can't compete with, that being Tigress, which is their multi-pass launch kosher that delivers lots of hang time, which I will be giving 2 points for. Cobra's Curse, which is their family spinning kosher, which I will be giving an additional 2 points for. Scorpion, which is an older looping kosher that I will be giving 1 point for. Sand Serpent, which is a wild mouse kosher, which I will also be giving 1 point for. Iron Gwazi, which is the park's best kosher and one of the best koshers out there, which I will obviously be giving 3 points for because it's so awesome. And Shikra, which is the park's dive kosher, which I will be giving an extra 2 points for. That will bring Busch Gardens' lead up to 16-3, putting them in the lead. World's favor, they do have one kosher at Busch Gardens Tampa just can't compete with, that being Mako, which is so good I will be giving it an additional 3 points to SeaWorld, and which will take the lead to 16-6, Busch Gardens still beating SeaWorld. Okay, so now let's compare both parks' water rides. I will first be comparing Stanley Falls Log Flume at Busch Gardens Tampa to Journey to Atlantis at SeaWorld Orlando. Now this is no competition, with Journey to Atlantis obviously being a heck of a lot better. I mean, Stanley Falls Log Flume is a decent log flume, but it is way subpar Busch Gardens standards of what it should be. While Journey to Atlantis is a well-themed water coaster for mock rides that delivers actual thrills, including a decently sized drop in the middle of the ride, an actual coaster section that delivers some decent laterals, and a ton of great theming. So that's why I will be giving SeaWorld an extra 2 points for Journey to Atlantis. So now let's compare both parks' River Rapids rides. That being Congo River Rapids at Busch Gardens Tampa and the exceptional Infinity Falls at SeaWorld Orlando. Now, it's pretty obvious that Infinity Falls is the superior ride, and just Congo River Rapids is just a mediocre at best River Rapids ride. For one, Infinity Falls has way stronger rapids, and also you have that final plunge, which is underwhelming, but Congo River Rapids has no drops at all, so I'd rather take a drop over no drops. And plus, Infinity Falls does have the better landscaping and theming, so that's why I will be giving SeaWorld an additional 1 point for Infinity Falls. So now let's move on to the animals. Now when it comes to the animal encounters where you can just view the animals, Busch Gardens Tampa does this a lot better than SeaWorld does. For one, there's just a lot more animals ranging from elephants to tigers to cheetahs to orangutans and a lot more. Plus you just have they're just more interesting to watch and there's more of them. Well, with SeaWorld, you have penguins, dolphins, orcas, but it's just, yeah, like I said earlier, they're not as exciting to watch. So that's why I will be giving Busch Gardens Tampa an extra point for the animal encounters. So now, SeaWorld might not be as good as Busch Gardens Tampa when it comes to animal encounters, but the opposite is the case for the shows. Now, Busch Gardens Tampa has some decent shows at best, like Cirque Electric, which is a decent nighttime show, and plus their fireworks are pretty solid. But SeaWorld Orlando's animal shows can be both hilarious and entertaining, and are just plain amazing. Like for example, you have Sea Lion High, which is easily the park's funniest show. It's not going on at this moment, but it is just amazing and is a must watch when you go to SeaWorld Orlando. Now you also have the Orca encounter, which will get you pretty wet, and plus you get to see a bunch of orcas doing pretty awesome tricks. You have dolphin adventures, which is basically the same thing as orca encounter, but with dolphins, seeing dolphins do some nice tricks and getting wet. And that is one theme with SeaWorld shows: you will get wet unless you sit further back. So if you don't want to get wet, sit further back. And because of that, I will be giving SeaWorld an extra 1 point for their incredible shows. And our winner is Busch Gardens Tampa, with the results being 17-11. Now, even though SeaWorld Orlando lost, it is still an incredible park with arguably better quality rides than Busch Gardens Tampa, as both Scorpion and Sand Serpent aren't very good even for being family coasters. So if you enjoyed that video, I recommend you check out both my Busch Gardens Tampa and SeaWorld Orlando touring plans, and remember to subscribe to Southeastern Thrills, and peace.